Hello, everyone. It's Climbing Culture Daily with Rhonda, and this is Pop Life. Today, we're digging into something that doesn't get talked about nearly enough, and that is how homosexuality, or more specifically, the idea of queerness, gets weaponized as a tool of control, shame, and manipulation. And this isn't about love or identity, it's about power. Let's get into it. Not queerness, about control. When people hear about forced same sex acts being used in abuse or blackmail, they often get it twisted. This isn't a conversation about being gay or queer. This is about how queerness gets used as a threat, especially in environments where masculinity is sacred and hyper policed. In the context of power and abuse, especially among wealthy, high profile circles, Diddy, what some folks call elite culture, billionaires club, all that. Same sex acts aren't about sexual orientation, they're about breaking people, humiliating them, filming them, using that footage as a leash. But why? Because in hyper masculine spaces, especially in hip hop, politics, and sports, being seen as anything other than dominant, straight, and in control is considered weak. So if someone wants to control you, they just don't hit you, they emasculate you. Blackmail, silence, and fear. Let's talk about what happens when that shame is captured on camera. Now it's just not about trauma, it's about leverage. A man gets coerced into a same sex act, maybe because he's drunk, drugged, or even threatened. Maybe he's just trying to survive, or he's just been so broken down over time. And then it gets recorded. And let's be real, if he's in the public eye, that footage isn't just evidence of abuse, it becomes a weapon. Because our culture still shames queer identity, especially among Black men. That man now has to live with the threat of being exposed for not doing anything wrong, but for something society still refuses to handle with compassion or complexity. Internalized homophobia, predatory masculinity. And here it gets deeper. Sometimes people who wield that shame the hardest are men who haven't made peace with their own identity. Diddy. Abusers who prey on others under the guise of dominance. They recreate cycles of shame they've internalized. And the result is a twisted, violent cycle where intimacy becomes a weapon. Where queerness, something that should be beautiful, freeing, and human, gets turned into a tool of punishment. This is a dark underbelly of patriarchy. This is how it warps sex into control, identity into silence, and queerness into humiliation. And why this matters? It matters because silence is killing people. Black men, straight, gay, or questioning, deserve freedom, deserve safety, deserve the right to express, to explore, to be without fear that someone will turn this against them. The internet. And Black women, we're often caught in this web too. Silenced when we speak up, ridiculed when we tell the truth, punished for naming the violence we've seen. What happens in these elite circles isn't just celebrity gossip, but it's a mirror for all of us of how power works, of how shame is used, and how silence protects predators. In final thoughts, sexuality should never be a weapon, and nobody, and I say nobody, should be forced to carry the weight of anyone else's sickness. And let's be clear, queerness is not the threat. It is not dirty. It is not shameful. It is not something to be used to punish, to blackmail, or to silence. Queerness is a human experience and a truth for many. But when it gets twisted into some tool for control or humiliation, that's not about queerness. That's about power, patriarchy, and the sickness of control. We have to start calling this violence by its name. We have to report it. We have to talk about it. We have to stop protecting abusers. We have to stop protecting abusers. We have to stop protecting abusers because they're famous, powerful, or charming. And most importantly, we have to believe victims when they tell their stories because too often those who speak up are met with disbelief, mockery, and threats. We all have a role in creating spaces where people are safe to live their truths, love who they love, and never have their sexuality used against them. We need to live in a world where consent is honored, power is checked, and healing is possible. Thank you again. Until the next time, keep climbing.